Hey y'all, welcome back to Soapbox. So it is 2023 and I want to get back at it this new year. We're going to dive right in. I want to talk today about the one, the only, the living legend himself. We're going to talk about Mr. Jon Batiste. Go on, hop up on your soapbox. Ba-da-da-da. So, Jon Batiste, there's a lot to be said. This will not be our only episode on Jon Batiste. I just want to talk specifically about one of his albums, and it is sitting right here. Today, we're going to talk about Jon Batiste's 2018 album, Hollywood Africans. So, this album is just top to bottom masterful. I want to talk a little bit about Jon Batiste's techniques and Jon Batiste's I don't know. I don't want to say influence on me because as I listen, I definitely pick up some of what he's doing, but he does some really incredible work. He has many, many albums, but this album in particular, absolutely fantastic. So, it kicks off with him doing a low down, sort of dirty blues, like old blues, you know. Holding down that left hand. Kenner Boogie. And there is something refreshing about hearing a modern artist, and this in 2018, y'all. So a modern artist just holding down some good old-fashioned blues. And if you know anything about the piano, the blues, that sort of pattern, that is just groovy any way you look at it. But what Batiste does is then he goes on in the song to do some stuff that I'm not even gonna attempt here. I'm even amazed that I could get that much out because he has some serious his rhythmic vocabulary is very, very, very strong. If you listen to his left hand, that's always what I'm doing when I'm listening to boogie woogie, jazz, bebop. I'm listening to the piano player's left hand. He gets to a point where basically he's holding down that groove in the left hand and he's so it's almost like his brain is playing in two different time signatures. He's got the left groove almost on automatic. Almost. You can tell he's still making choices. That is just some really, really good stuff. When it comes to Jon Batiste, this is an artist who I feel like has become so good at his instrument that he could probably make any sound he wants. He's got in here the St. James Infirmary Blues, which is sort of like a throwback. And then you've got like Nocturne Number 1 in D minor is side B. It's just so cool. I think what you should do if you're going to cover a song is find a way to keep the integrity of the original song, but also add your own signature style, flair, arrangement to it, right? And Jon Batiste does this with aplomb with the second track on here, which is What a Wonderful World. And I cannot get over this arrangement. He starts by doing this really beautiful, it almost sounds like Debussy, right? I mean, I'm not doing it nearly justice because he really plays it just, it's almost like water, ocean waves. And then he lands in on this thing here. And I love this. I love that he strips the song down and puts all the emphasis on this one note. It's almost like moment to moment to moment. It's bringing you into, I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and for you. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. What a wonderful world. It is so good. It's so tender and it's so beautifully his own. When I listen to that as a musician, as an artist, it gives me chills. It brings tears to my eyes. It chokes me up because what an arrangement. What a powerful way to deliver that song. And Armstrong obviously wrote this beautiful tune, and it has such a wonderful message. And it's not to get too into it here, but to hear a Black American man singing about the light of the world and how beautiful it is a sign of courage and hope and love, because few people have had it harder than Black Americans. And so, not that should assuage, white guilt or white shame or anything like that. But when I hear that song, it almost brings a tear to my eye, because if a person can have suffered and seen so much hatred and ridicule and shame in their lives, and yet turn around and write and sing songs about how wonderful the world still is, that teaches me how to have a little bit of grace and how to have a little bit of gratitude. Here's almost what I think of as the gem of the album. I started listening further and further. I started listening in the car, and I started repeating the song and going, this is a really good song. And I thought, how do I know this tune? And it to me, this song, it's called Mr. Buddy. And it is a fabulous, it's just like, it's funny, it's heartbreaking, it's sincere. I think Jon Batiste is maybe one of the most sincere pianists and artists living. Now, I don't know all the living pianists and all the living artists, so I can't really say that. But in my catalog, in my playlists, in my list of artists on my phone and through vinyls, I think he just brings such heart to his music. It's really a beautiful thing to witness. And he does this kind of thing here. I'm going to see if I can get this right. Mr. Buddy was someone who never steered me wrong. He was always singing a good song. Even when some folks would hiss and cheer, he wouldn't bend. He was always gonna be him. I'm like, what? With just the most delicate little melody, he can break your heart. He can catch your ear, draw you in, tell you a story about this Mr. Buddy. I don't know who that is, but he was someone to John, and he broke my heart. And listen to that progression. Mr. Buddy was the one. It's that climb. And then this right here. You know what that reminds me of? That reminds me of And So It Goes by Billy Joel. Now, we haven't talked about Billy Joel, and Billy Joel is a big influence on me, but I want to, eventually, I'll talk a bit about Billy Joel. I want to do a whole episode on sister songs, on songs that sound like other songs or maybe are influenced by them. Now, that's just a cadence. Which is actually the end of Moon River as well. Moon River and me. Right? So he's using these cadences. He's not particularly doing anything new. He's just taking something that's already there and he's putting his own signature on it. You want to talk about good music? That's good music. I want to say objectively. I can't imagine a person listening to that song and going, this song sucks ass. No, that's if so, you don't know music. Or rather, you got shit taste, right? But I encourage you, get Hollywood Africans, listen to it top to bottom, top to bottom, top to bottom. You're going to find some really interesting and masterful music in there. I think Jon Batiste, he gets all the praise from me. Now, I want to talk more about Jon Batiste. We'll do a few more episodes about him down the line. It's hard to get all I want to say about these artists out in this short amount of time, but you can tell he just brings me joy. He brings me ideas. He brings me themes. He's basically just saying music is here for all of us, and we can enjoy it. We can be a part of it. We can participate in this grand and beautiful thing. So thank you, Jon Batiste. Go listen to his album, Hollywood Africans, and if you don't like it, tough.